Coming up in this video, on our way out we put the Land Cruiser and the new Caravan over the weighbridge. From weighing our setup we head to the Fleurieu Peninsula, and it's there that we spend 7 nights and enjoy some of the most beautiful beaches that South Australia has on offer. We take a day drive down to Cape Jervis and we check out the new area that they're building for the ferry that goes across the Kangaroo Island. As well as that, we check out a couple of beaches. We stop off at Rapid Bay and we have a look at the campground and take a walk out on the jetty. We take a walk along the new multi-million-dollar boardwalk that's been built at Port Noarlunga, and whilst in the area we have a look at the Port Noarlunga Reef. Late evenings, always a great time to walk along the beach. All that and more coming up in this video. I'm Mick, and this is Sally. Together we've been caravanning Australia since the 1980s, and more recently we started to put the videos together just to show you some of what we see out there. There's a lot to see in Australia, and we hope you enjoy what we have here to show you. You can follow us on our trips via the following social media platforms. It was only a short distance as we made our way down to the Fleurieu Peninsula that it took us past the Go Way weighbridge here at Wingfield, so we took the opportunity to put the setup over the scales, and it was nice to find out that everything was where it should be. With the upgrade that we've had done on the Land Cruiser, and that was all done at levels, it's put the weights exactly where we wanted them to be. Although it wasn't very many kilometres from home down to Port Noarlunga, the time to travel past the city and down through the suburbs, it dragged the travelling time out. G'day everyone, and we've checked in here for 7 nights at the Port Noarlunga Caravan Park, and whilst we're here we'll have a bit of a look around the Fleurieu Peninsula. With one of our mornings being a very beautiful summer's morning, I thought I'd take a walk down to Maslin Beach and see if I could get some of the sunrise down there on the cliffs, because it's got a beautiful set of cliffs down there and a very pretty beach to go with it all. It's only a short walk down to the beach, and when I got there the sun was just starting to come up high enough that it was starting to touch the top of the cliffs here with the blue arrows pointing, and it was there that I was hoping to get some nice photos. It's a very pretty beach this one, and the hills or cliffs that join the beach, very pretty in the morning. Even in the sunset in the afternoon they certainly come up and they glow red, but a very pretty location. This part of the beach, to give you good access, has got this cement path that takes you down onto the beach, and once you get down there you start to appreciate how good the beach is. Maslin Beach is a nudist beach, and it was the first one to be recognised in that way within Australia, and it's certainly not the place to be with a camera should there be a crowd down there. Although it's still very pretty down there this morning, the sun was just starting to shine on the cliffs, and that's what I was after. But unfortunately the cloud cover came up and that soon took the sunshine away, but never mind. It was later that evening that we went down to Silver Sands Beach and took a stroll along the beach. Very peaceful, calm waters, just such a perfect night. Adelaide is a very lucky location with all these beaches so close to the suburbs, and to be able to go down here, it's just beautiful. Today was probably the best forecast day that we had or was going to have during our stay on the Fleurieu Peninsula. So we thought we'd take a trip down to Cape Jervis and have a look at some of the scenery down there. Now coming over the last of the hills before we started to really get close to Cape Jervis, we could see Kangaroo Island in the far distance. This is a very scenic drive, and during the winter months it's even prettier than what it is now whilst the grass is so dry. But here we are, we're just short of Cape Jervis, and we do that left hand turn that was going to take us down to our first beach. It's here at Fisheries Beach that they run the cables across to Kangaroo Island from the mainland, and it's there that Kangaroo Island get all their 240 volt power supply from. With the power cables running from the mainland across to the island, it's quite obvious it's not the place that you want to be dropping an anchor. This beach is a rocky, stony sort of beach. There is a bit of sand, probably not really ideal for swimming, but you could do a little bit of swimming there if you wish to do so. But in saying that, it's still a pretty location to come down and have a look at. The road that brings you down to the beach here is suitable for all vehicles, and once you get down to the car park, it's only a short walk that takes you down to the water's edge. Sandy piece of beach here that, as mentioned before, you could go swimming if you wanted to, and if every other beach within the area was crowded, and there is quite a crowd along these beaches, this might be one place to come for a bit of peace and quiet and a gentle swim on your own. Some of the rocks along the shoreline here were tumbled from the water, and it made it ideal for things like this crab here to camp amongst the rocks. We only walked a short distance along the beach here, and these rocks with the sun shining on them and the orange colour, it was very, very pretty to look at. Perfect day to be out on the water with a boat, and there were a lot of water vessels down around this part of the Fleurieu Peninsula. Next area that we're going to have a look at, and that was Cape Jervis, and that's where the Sea Link ferry leaves and goes across to Kangaroo Island, and it's there that they're building a new or extending the terminal area where the boat actually berths, because they've got 2 new ferries arriving very shortly. We have been down here on a number of occasions, and even at this time of the year previously, and we couldn't get over the huge amount of cars that were parked up on the side of the road. Every little bit of parking space was used for one reason or another, and we just couldn't work out why so many were there. We had heard that it was walk-on passengers going across to Kangaroo Island, but why so many today when we've never seen it like it before? If you know, leave a comment down below and just let us know. From Cape Jervis, we were going to go to Morgan Beach, and that was only a short drive, and up there you've got the top scenic lookout, and from there, if you want to, you can go down and drive onto the beach itself. With the water being so calm, there was boats everywhere in this part of the world, and just the perfect day to be out on the water or even down on a beach. The coastal views from Adelaide all the way down to Cape Jervis, and then even from Cape Jervis travelling across to Victor Harbour, is very, very scenic, and on a day like today it's even so much better to look at. From the top car park it was down to the main beach, and it was there that we're going to take a drive along the beach. Now all the roads in this area once again are good, and you can do it with any sort of vehicle, but once you get down onto that beach it's really recommended that you have a four-wheel drive, because there was a few areas of soft sand as we drove along. There are 2 areas just prior to the beach that you can park, and this one here that we're going past now, that's the upper one. And looking here, is the lower one, and it's a small one, this one, so you need to be careful that when you come down here there is room for you to park. As we make our way onto the beach now, this is the first part of the soft sand, and we're at full tyre pressure, so we had no issue getting through, so it's not that bad. But as mentioned before, not ideal for a conventional motor car. Although the numbers on the beach weren't as high as what they were up on the metropolitan beaches, I was a little surprised at the number of people that were here, but they know when they're onto a good thing, and they're out to enjoy the day. We parked the vehicle here and had a bit of a look around on the beach, and once that was over, it was time to start to head back. After making our way off of the beach, we managed to find a car park in that lower parking section that we saw on the way down, and from there we walked back down onto the beach. Very rocky sort of beach, this one, just this part of the beach, and a lot of big stones, but that all adds to the scenery. From Morgan's Beach, it was back into Cape Jervis and on the main road, and it was there that we're going to go to Rapid Bay. Even though the area each side of the road here was dry with grass, it's still a scenic view as you come down into Rapid Bay, and we're now doing that right-hand turn that will take us into the campground, and the campground was absolutely packed on this day, and good on them, they're out there enjoying the beach life. Leaving the entry to the campground on our left, as we make our way around the outside of the campground itself, we head down towards the beach. And even on this road here that gives you beach access, and that's where you're going to launch a boat if you've got a tinny, there was just cars galore. Once we'd made our way back past the campground, we did that right-hand turn, and that was going to take us down to the jetty, and once we started moving along that water's edge, there was very little parking room. There was just cars everywhere. The old jetty here at Rapid Bay was damaged by storms, and it was in 2004 that it was finally closed to the public, and boaties and divers and pedestrians are no longer allowed to go within any proximity of the jetty. With the damage to the old jetty, a new jetty was constructed, and that was finally opened in March of 2009. Rapid Bay is approximately 1.5 hours drive from Adelaide, and it's the Diving Adelaide's most popular shore dive due to the fact that it's the home of several leafy sea dragons. On the day that we were there, it was almost shoulder to shoulder at times on the jetty with people there that are out fishing, and they were enjoying the weather, and who couldn't when you look at the water and it's so calm like this. Makes you wonder in time whether the old jetty will remain standing and slowly fall into the water, and or whether perhaps it may be dismantled and removed altogether. There were literally thousands of garfish down in the water, and they weren't biting very strongly, and some people did have some, and some did have very little in fact, but this fella here, young bloke, he managed to catch one, and how many he had in total, well, that was hard to tell. Rapid Bay Campground and the water immediately in front of the campground, very pretty indeed, and it's easy to understand why so many people want to go down there and camp. As we made our way back to the caravan and look out to the left to see so many vehicles parked up on the beach, it just illustrated How beautiful the day was to be at the beach. We have been to the Port Noarlunga Caravan Park previously, and it was only 12 months ago that we did a bit of a look around and a review on the caravan park for what it had to offer. So if you want to have a look at that, I'll leave a link in this video description down below, because I won't go through the same thing again whilst we're here this time. While we're here this time, we had some hot days and we had some cool days, but it didn't stop everyone from getting out and about and enjoying themselves. For those that follow the channel, yep, Sally's been at it again. Beautiful hot scones. So we had jam and cream on hot scones on the day, and very nice. On those warmer afternoons, it's always nice to sit around and just relax, share a bit of time with the dogs, and enjoy life as it should be. Just prior to us arriving here at the Port Noarlunga Caravan Park, the new swimming pool that they've had built has been opened, and that now gave them 2 swimming pools within the caravan park. Port Noarlunga is a tourist destination hotspot, and it's only just prior to us being down on the Fleurieu Peninsula that they've completed and opened up to the public a new multi-million-dollar boardwalk. With the first section of this development being open, the start of it, or the access point to the boardwalk, is from the Port Noarlunga jetty itself, and when you get up to the other end where they've completed it to, you can no longer go any further. So you walk onto the boardwalk and have a look, and then you got to return the same way that you entered onto it. Even though you return the same way on the boardwalk that you entered onto it, it's a very pretty and scenic sort of walk, this one. Just on this part of it, you've got the hills on the right hand side, or the cliffs, and the sandy colour with the brown tops, orange coloured tops, and then of course on the other side you've got the ocean. With the perfect weather that we experienced whilst we're on the boardwalk, it does justice to the scenery that you do look at, and to go down there on an overcast, windy sort of a day, it certainly wouldn't be enjoyable like it was on the day that we were there. The total length of the boardwalk is 1.1 kilometres long, and it's here where it ends, and in time, future work will be done to extend it. With favourable weather conditions, it was ideal to go out and have a look at the Port Noarlunga Reef. At the time of filming this, it was just after low tide, so the reef was well and truly exposed. Walking out on the jetty, once you get to the end of the jetty, it will give you an elevated view as you look out over the reef. Not only is the area here very popular with swimmers, but it's also popular for those that want to do a bit of snorkeling. Not a big crowd on the jetty today. It was a work day, so I guess some of the people had gone back to work since the Christmas break, but no, there's a nice number out there, but plenty of room to move around. Divers and snorkelers and everyone else making the most of their time out on the reef whilst the water was so calm. With the gentle waves lapping the top of the reef, it was a playground to be enjoyed. As we look back to the shore, you can see the new boardwalk as it makes its way around the cliff. The Fleurieu Peninsula has so much to see, all within a short distance of each other, so we headed down to Port Noarlunga, where we were going to go for a beach walk. Many years ago, Port Noarlunga was once one of South Australia's busiest outports and the home of a thriving fishing industry. A little bit surprised with the number of people that weren't here, and it had been a reasonably warm day and it was a beautiful afternoon evening to be out on the beach. To gain access from the top car park down onto the beach, there is a walkway, and that's shown here by the red arrows. We parked up the top in this car park here, and it was only a short walk to the walkway that was going to take us down to the beach. Only a short walk from the car park to where you reach that walkway that will take you down onto the sand. From the sandstone cliffs as you walk down to the caves that the fishermen used to store their boats in years ago, there is so much to see here. Not very many people on the beach tonight, and that gave us the freedom to paddle in the water and enjoy our time without interfering with anyone else. As the sun goes down in the west, we have a look at the old pylons here, the remnants of the old jetty from the fishing fleet years ago. Well, it's the end of another trip down on the Fleurieu Peninsula, and hope you've enjoyed what we've shown you. It's certainly nice down here at this time of the year, but until that next video goes up, you take care and look after yourself.